where's the best cultural destination right now? Well, it's
the country I'm in, Guatemala in Central America, just south of Mexico on the ribbon of land that gives way to South America and home to a civilization born before Jesus Christ.
It's at least a 12-hour journey, but Guatemala is a beautiful country with much to offer. Its main tourist attraction is Tikal, a city deep in the jungle built 3,000 years ago by the Mayans. 5 granite temples dominate the site, once built to pay tribute to past rulers and to please Mayan deities.
It's the remains of the Mayan culture that really draw people to Guatemala. They were way ahead of their times, just like the Egyptians and the Romans. As you can see, rather brilliant at architecture, pretty hot on their maths, groundbreaking astronomers, and they wrote with their own form of hieroglyphics. But unlike Egypt and Rome, by coming here you get to observe the Mayan culture living on. In fact, 50% of Guatemala is made up of indigenous people.
Today, modern Mayans live in the cities and towns. The women in particular are staunch torchbearers of custom and culture, traditions that date back to their ancestors in Tikal. The ancient Maya lived in a highly structured society with many spiritual practices. They had their own Bible, sacrifice ceremonies, and sacred places. So Bernie, who were the Mayans?
Mayan was a group of people who arrived from different parts of the world. Actually, new recent discoveries show like people from Bering Strait and another group from the east of the United States arrive at the same time to America, merge and produce this magical culture.
When you go to Egypt, and you work out from the hieroglyphics that they were brilliant dentists, they were fantastic doctors. I mean, evidence of caesarean sections taking place.
Here too.
Here as well? Really?
Yeah. Dentistry, brain surgery, cuttings on the skull completely, and then healed the bones. Like after the guy survived, for sure.
800 BC, wow.
To 800 AD. A big part of history.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest civilizations in the world.
Walking into the jungle and seeing the ruins appear for the first time is a truly impressive sight. You sit up here and try to imagine it 1,200 years ago as a working, functioning city. And the story doesn't end there. There's digs going on here every day, and they'll continue for hundreds of years. And with every new discovery, history becomes rewritten. So that makes Tikal the ultimate in a never-ending story.
In 900 AD, Tikal was abandoned and reclaimed by the jungle. Theories as to why range from earthquake to rebellion. 200 miles from Tikal and 600 years later, the Spanish built Antigua as their capital city. The Mayans who had once ruled Guatemala were now the slaves of their Spanish occupiers. Today it's one of the oldest and most beautiful cities in Central America. Many travellers head here, giving it a cosmopolitan atmosphere. It's also a great place for shopping.
Now, the local market here in Antigua is not your usual tourist fare. In fact, it's just a hybrid of colour with everything and anything sold. These are local flowers and they're edible. ¿Puedo probar, señorita? ¿Sí? Tastes like cabbage. I'm glad I went for that over these. This is pre-cooked armadillo, iguana and lizard. Definitely an acquired taste.
Antigua is thriving thanks to its Spanish colonial past. Most of the buildings here date back to the 17th century when, with Roman Catholic money, no expense was spared on the city's architecture.
Whoever decided to make this city a World Heritage Site should be applauded. It's been wonderfully preserved. As you walk through the streets taking in the Baroque buildings, it's as if there's been an explosion in a paint shop.
You can soak up more Guatemalan culture in hotels like this in Antigua. Here the decor, just like the food and the language, has been influenced by the Spanish occupancy. The Spanish were only here for around 200 years, but their legacy has been the most enduring. Independence from Spain came in 1821, but by the mid-20th century, Central America was an arena for civil war and bloody revolution. Guatemala was no exception. In 1960, the Civil War broke out with anti-government forces waging a guerrilla war. And then in 1980, a program of genocide against the Mayans began. In 36 years of civil war, over 200,000 people died. During that time, Dolores Retz and Pablo was living in Santiago in Lake Atitlan.
People, they were scared because every time they go to work, the military, they just stop everyone. And they started killing people almost every night. And because of the violence, a lot of people stop wearing this kind of headdress because it's so bright. They're afraid the soldiers, they're going to kill them.
They wanted control here.
Exactly.
But despite centuries of repression and upheaval, Mayan traditions and customs have been maintained. And it's in the highlands of Guatemala that you can see today's Mayan cultural traditions in action. Dolores is taking me to see a shaman or Mayan priest to perform a Moximon ceremony. These are part of everyday village life here. Dolores has arranged for me to have a blessing. Moximon is a Mayan deity who carries messages from humans to the gods. Mayans respect Moximon and fear his anger. They offer him payment in the form of flowers, candles, liquor, and tobacco. When it's all over, I have to ask, how come Moximon's such a heavy smoker?
Tobacco, it's a medicine to the Mayan people.
Really?
It's special because it kills the infection.
What did the shaman wish for me there? What did he bless me with?
He bless you with like good health, good business, good luck.
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you very much, Dolores. Now, will you thank the shaman for me?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you.
Dios te bendiga.
Gracias.
Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry and narrow-mindedness, or so wrote Mark Twain. But a trip here brings even richer rewards. Guatemala's like meeting a modest new acquaintance. It has every reason to brag and boast about its extraordinary past, but it doesn't. And by letting you discover the country and its history for yourself, the experience becomes far more effective. For me, the highlight of this trip has been the ruins of Tikal. It really is a gateway into an ancient civilization. Culturally, Guatemala has to be one of the world's best kept secrets.